like a Hellcat.
Hello and welcome back to the channel where once again it's time for another issue of Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol. Today we're on issue 20, which sees us get the Chaplain on a bike. This is a £34 miniature, a highly desired issue. I've already seen dozens of these issues being sold on eBay for more than double the retail cost. So if you want one, you're going to have to be really quick. It says that this issue will cover the Space Marine Chaplain, Chaplain datasheet, and a new play scenario. Turning over to the first page then, of course, it's how to build your Chaplain on his bike. There's quite a few little bits to this miniature, so you're going to have to take notice of the instructions carefully. This goes over to the next 2 pages and also follows over to the page after that, making 4 pages in total, being how to construct your miniature. Next, we go on to how to paint the Chaplain. It tells us that we should undercoat this one with Abaddon Black. Turning over then, it tells us where we need to put our lead belcher and our retributor armor. Before turning over, it shows us where we need our Rakarth flesh, our Mephiston red, our Screamer pink, our Wraithbone, our Macgregor blue, and our Baraknar burgundy. Before we turn over and we see the work in progress, the miniature so far. So over half the magazine, I think, is taken up for how to construct the miniature and how to paint it thus far. We then go on to our data sheet, I should say the naming sheet for the Chaplain on a bike. Like always, it tells you to roll the dice to come up with the name for your character. Turning over then, we have the data sheet with all of his statistics and his abilities laid out on there before we have some descriptions for the Chaplain on a bike. It tells us about his Crozius Arcanum, his twin bolt rifle, and it says his strengths are his speed and his independence, and his negative points are that he lacks synergy. Over the page we go, and it tells us information on his twin linked ability and his catechism of fire ability. Before we go on to scenario number 16, Ridden Down. Constant fighting against the Tyranids has left even the superhuman Space Marines exhausted. However, help is at hand. A zealous Chaplain of the chapter has come to inspire his fellow warriors and lead them to victory through the destruction of the foe. This is scenario number 16, play section F. The Space Marine units for this one are the Captain in Terminator armor, the Chaplain on a bike, and the 5 Infernus Marines. They'll be facing off against the Winged Tyrannid Prime, 10 Termagants, 2 lots of those, 3 Von Ryan Leapers, and the 5 Barbgaunts. Like always then, we've got our Space Marine turn breakdown telling us the command phase, the movement phase, the shooting phase, the charging phase, and then the fighting phase, with examples of moving and shooting and charging and fighting on the opposing page. Very simply laid out, I should say, just like always. Before we go on to the Tyranids turn, exactly the same there, with examples of moving and shooting and charging and fighting. Turning over then, it gives us a little bit of storyline content for if it's a Space Marine victory or a Tyranids victory, before we turn over onto the final page to see that next issue comes with our first Eldari model, the Farseer, just one single fairly small miniature in all fairness, and then issue 22 comes with 2 paints. Now I need to point out this will probably be the last magazine I'm covering, certainly at this point in time, because a lot of other models in the series I don't want. I might return to it for the final 10 issues if I can get my hands on them, possibly, but I think that is going to be it for me. What are your thoughts on issue 20, the Chaplain on a bike, in terms of a retail value against the value of the magazine? You're saving £24, making it the best value issue so far in the series. Now, this is one of those models where I say it doesn't have the physical value of £34. There's not enough plastic in that set to make this worth £34. And this is one of the primary reasons why I no longer collect Warhammer or any of the 40k models or anything at all like that. Simply because I think the prices are absolutely insane. I almost feel like some of the prices for the models are dictated by their statistical ratings that they have within the game and not actually by their physical value of the materials that they're comprised of. And like I said, this is why I simply don't buy stuff anymore. So these magazines are good because you get models much cheaper. Let me know your thoughts though on issue 20, and if you have any thoughts on what I just said in terms about the pricing of Citadel miniatures in general. Leave me a comment down below, and like always, I will be back soon with another video on the channel. Goodbye for now.